We're going to have Mr. Tinglin come up. Okay, we started a few years ago the Religious Freedom Award named after Gershom Mendes, Seixas. I'm past president of the Sons of the Revolution in New York, and as a student of the American Revolution, you realize that two of the principles of the American Revolution were individual liberty and religious tolerance. And Gershom Mendes Seixas was a big advocate of that, helped to put into the Constitution that there's no religious test for office. But the fight for tolerance didn't end with the American Revolution, for sure. According to the Anti-Defamation League, the number of anti-Semitic incidents was up 30% last year over the year before, which is a troubling statistic. And this year, we want to recognize a man who for years has been spreading the gospel of tolerance, in part by teaching what happens when tolerance isn't there. Stories of the Holocaust from the records and from the people who've survived. So it's my privilege, Peter, on behalf of the New York Historical Association, to present the Gershom Mendes Seixas Religious Freedom Award to the President and CEO of the Tour for Tolerance, someone known to many of us here as a champion of what this award is supposed to represent. Total ops. Okay, here we go.
Distinguished guests, colleagues and friends, I'm humble and grateful to receive the Gershom Mendes Seixas Award for Religious Freedom and Tolerance, to be recognized as a student alongside the action path of walking in the open shadows of great leaders such as George Washington, Gershom Mendes Seixas, Abraham Lincoln, Dr. Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa, Winston Churchill, with a tremendous honor and privilege. As we gather here today, we are reminded of the vital importance of religious freedom and tolerance in our society. From the early days of our nation's history, George Washington recognized that religious freedom was a fundamental right that must be protected. He wrote in his famous letter to the Hebrew congregation at Newport that all possesses alike liberty of conscience and immunities of citizenship, regardless of their faith. Abraham Lincoln also understood the critical nature of religion and war religious freedom. In his Gettysburg Address, he spoke of a nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. He knew that the preservation of religious freedom was essential to the preservation of democracy. Dr. Martin Luther King was a shining beacon of hope and inspiration for those fighting for religious freedom and tolerance. He spoke of a world where people would be judged not by the color of their skin or the religion that they practice, but by the content of their character. He knew that true freedom could only be achieved when all people were treated with respect and dignity. His legacy continues to inspire us today, and I accept this award in his honor. Abraham Joshua Heschel was a brilliant theologian and philosopher who spoke eloquently of the need for social justice and equality. He spoke eloquently about the need to work together as a society that was just and equitable and yet compassionate. He understood that religion should not be a tool for oppression, but rather a force for social change. We believe that religion should be a force for good in the world, and he worked tirelessly to make that a reality. His writings and teaching continues to inspire us today. His words continue to resonate with us, and I am humbled to accept this award in his memory. Mother Teresa was a living example of love and compassion. She dedicated her life to serving the poor and the marginalized, and she reminded us that we must always strive to be a force for good in the world. Her selfless devotion to others continues to inspire us today. Her example continues to inspire us. I am honored to accept this award in her name. Winston Churchill was a towering figure in the fight against tyranny and oppression. He understood that religious freedom was a fundamental right that must be protected at all costs. His leadership during World War II inspired a generation to stand up together, that force of evil, and fight for a better world. His leadership during the Second World War, where he stood up against the forces of evil, continues to inspire us to this day. And I accept this award in his honor. In accordance with the Gershom Mendes Seixas Award, under the leadership of Mr. James Kaplan of the Lower Manhattan Historical Association, and the legacy and impartiality of the many great men and women who sacrificed their lives for freedom and democracy, we are reminded that the fight for religious freedom and tolerance is ongoing. There are still many challenges that we must overcome, and many people around the world are denied the basic rights, but we must not lose hope. We must continue to work tirelessly towards the goal of a world where all people are treated with respect and dignity, regardless of their religion. We must strive for a world where religious freedom and fundamental rights that must be protected and cherished. In conclusion, I accept this award with deep sense of responsibility and purpose. And I will continue to work tirelessly towards the goal of religious freedom and tolerance, knowing that the road ahead will not be easy. I am grateful to see the many Holocaust survivors here who supported me in this wonderful endeavor. Sammy Steichman, Inga Ackerbacher, Sally Frischberg, Samuel Bykoff, and others. Samuel Bykoff took me to Babi Yar. Where's Samuel? This gentleman, Holocaust survivor, took me to Babi Yar in Ukraine, where 34,000 Jews were massacred in less than 36 hours. He also took me to Baghdadistan, where 56,700 Jews were murdered in less than 45 days, and only 27 survived. He is one of those 27. And now he is a witness to another atrocity in the homeland of the Ukraine. We pray for the Ukraine war to end, so that Ukrainian people could move forward with their God-given rights of living their lives free from tyranny and despair, rising above the stars of life and sharing love and inspiration. With the legacy of George Washington, Gershom, Mendes, Seixas, Dr. Martin Luther King, Abraham Joshua Heschel, Mother Teresa, Winston Churchill to guide us. I am confident that we will achieve all goals of creating a world where people of all faith can live together in harmony and in peace. Thank you once again. I am Musa.